Gates Adams here on behalf of Apex Trader Funding, and I'm here today with Trader Connor. Connor's a paid funded trader with Apex Trader Funding. Connor, first and foremost, congratulations on your recent success as a trader. Now, is this the first payout or is this like in a string of payouts at this point?
Currently, I'm on a string of payouts. I've been building one of the 300 accounts for a couple months now, and I finally started tapping into it. So
awesome. Okay, so we're not just crossing that threshold. You're crossing and you're dipping into that threshold. This has now become a regular part of your world. So it begs the question, how long have you been trading at this point?
April of 2025 will be 2 years.
Okay. In the grand scheme of things, you're still a relatively new trader, which is exciting to see this level of consistency and success so soon, because I guess that really puts us at about a year and a half, if I'm doing my math right. So now, how did you actually get into trading in the first place? What brought you in?
Well, it was actually a gentleman in my gym who started showing me charts and options and things like that. So, I stumbled into the option world on Robinhood, lost way more money than I had to lose.
Right.
Kind of set that down for a while, and then I got a text, and it was information about I'm going to use Apex. You should check out Apex. Had no idea what the futures market was. I did my research. Then I started YouTubing, going through, looking for strategies, trying to understand all the nuances of all this stuff and risk. And I had no idea what I was getting myself into. The evolution of where I started, YouTube videos and printing out charts to going through Discord rooms and trying to see who I can relate to. Yeah, it's been an interesting one.
So it sort of begs the question because, I get a mixed response on this question that I ask from time to time. But when you first, you had a buddy tell you, hey, I'm checking out this company. And I'm sure essentially the conversation was like, they'll take the financial risk for your trading. What was that initial gut reaction just at the concept that somebody else would take that financial risk for you to be able to trade for profit?
I was curious, what is the fine print? How much do I have to pay? If I go over, do I owe anything extra? What is the timeline? Is this actually real? Is it a scam?
Right.
But when you do some Google searches, it's very quick to see, all of the reviews through Apex. They're fantastic, man.
Well, I think that there's a lot of misconception in the industry, and then of course some bad actors in the world of funding have certainly shown a light on the potential downside. But in your experience at this point, you've got a few payouts in. You have some experience trading with Apex. What's your experience with the company specifically been like?
It's been very positive overall. Any type of support, whether it's account-based or personal-based, quick responses. I really wasn't expecting it to be like that. I've hopped through other companies, and nobody really seems to have the whole picture kind of in balance. And so for me, I always fall back on Apex. I started with them, I tried others, and I always came back to them because it was just worth it.
So on a more personal note, what has the world of trading and becoming and growing into a successful trader, what has that done for your world?
When I was 13 years old, I started getting into the bad stuff. I'm a recovering addict. I was an addict for 14 years. I have 7 years clean coming up here next June.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Through the ups and downs of life, a lot of people don't make it to the other side. They get locked up or they go to jail or they die. And if you do make it out, you have to kind of assess on what you're going to do and what is your plan for the rest of your life. So when I stumbled into this, I got knocked down more times than I've ever been knocked down every single day. It was a type of mental resilience that you had to kind of put on if you were going to do this long time. There's no easy way to go through the emotions, to go through the mental exhaustion, to go through and find your strategy and then be consistent with it. I feel like it's just another a building block of my life that is a staple in my everyday morning routine now. It's added, balance to my life. It's added comfort to my life. Things that I normally struggled for was paycheck to paycheck for my entire life. Just having that little bit of breathing room has been one of the biggest blessings that I've ever had.
I appreciate you sharing that. I know it can't be easy to necessarily share that with, for all intents and purposes, a perfect stranger, let alone the whole internet. But as you've gone through this journey, anybody who's traded for more than 5 minutes knows it's not easy. It is an emotional roller coaster. There are lots of ups and downs. Even when you quote unquote arrive, I don't know that there's really any such thing as arriving or getting there as a trader, but even once you get to the point where you're consistently making profits, there's still a lot of the emotion that's tied to your results as a trader, your confidence, your commitment to yourself. As you went through that journey, especially with the background that you had, was there anything in that journey that you found to be a particularly difficult struggle that you had to overcome And if so, how did that affect these other aspects of your life?
I think the hardest thing for me was the strategy. How do you want to trade? Because as you begin, you start learning all of these different, whether you're doing indicator based, time and price based, or by swing trading, am I doing short scalps? Going through all of those, trying them, getting bent over on just about everything that you can imagine. Finding that thing that works for you, it takes time, it takes money, it takes failure. And then you really have to hone and just sharpen that skill. You need your bread and butter. And it took me quite a while to figure that out. Sometimes too much knowledge or too many ideas. You're looking at a chart and you just, oh, it's this. Oh, but I could trade it like that. And getting rid of that and just doing my bread and butter was the key for me. And the discipline of doing that every day, taking your loss limit and just moving on is a very hard thing once you kind of get started. But sometimes you're just so focused on that, the short-term picture, that you don't see the long-term one. And that's honestly been probably one of the best things about it, is saying, okay, well, what can this do in 5 years if I did this for the year, and so on and so forth. The projection forward of success is something that I really enjoy and appreciate.
Was there anything in your world that got you through some of the tougher times and some of the bigger struggles as you were going through this journey?
My wife is definitely my backbone, and she was with me from the time I started in my little corner desk, and I would get up before work and try and do it. She was with me through all the times I would blow accounts and, blowing money that I could be spending on us and our family and things like that. So having somebody supportive that you can vent to, who basically understands, not from trading, but just from me telling her and blabbing about all the different things that we experience as traders. So having that person has been, I don't know if I could do it alone. That's all I'll say.
I love that, man. And this, it kind of turned into a little bit more of an emotional interview than I'm used to having. And again, I appreciate you sharing. Now that you're on the other side, or that you're seeing the other side, how has that affected the two of you in terms of your growth as a couple? Because you said it's not been particularly a long time. I guess, how long have you guys been together?
We've been together for 4 years, and in December we'll be married for 2. It's great having somebody like my wife, because she's actually within the last year and a half, she started 2 of her own businesses. So I kind of took a note out of her book a couple of weeks back, and I actually started my own business so I could start trading through it for tax purposes. Right. Having your like-minded person who wants to grow and also has a vision. You can bounce things off of each other. We can plan ahead. It's really exciting. You know what I mean? I always didn't know what I was going to do if I had to do a 9 to 5, because I could never make the ends meet. I could never do the things that I wanted to do. Right. And so we both kind of invested some money and took a chance on ourselves. I'd much rather spend the money taking the risk than looking back later in my life and thinking that, oh, well, what if I would have done that? Because I see him doing that. And if he can do it, I can do it.
Well, and the worst thing that you can do is say, I could have done it 20 years ago. It's one of the reasons that we do these interviews and really kind of get a glimpse into the reality of the world of trading, because it's not easy, and it's easy to want to give up, and it's easy to just let go of the dream. And I feel like sometimes hearing from other traders who have gone through the struggles, who, maybe it took you a year and a half, and maybe it took somebody else 5 or 6 years. Some of us have taken decades to really find our way in this world. And unequivocally, if you don't give up, it's always worth it. There are times where it's hard. And I think every single one of us at one point or another has said, I'm never opening up another chart. I know I have multiple times in my life. And I'm glad I lied to myself on those occasions, because coming back to the charts has always been really what I wanted to do. And so I'm so excited to hear about your continued growth, your continued success, and the fact that you're not just stopping there. You're taking this and moving it into opening additional doors and additional arenas, not just for you, but for your family and for your personal growth and development moving forward. So, man, this has just been a great opportunity to catch up and share some of this. I really appreciate you sharing your story. Like I said, what I'd love to do is catch up in a few months and really just kind of see how that growth trajectory continues for you, and see what things look like after the first of the year, if you'd be up for that.
That'd be fantastic. And I just want to add one more thing. The other thing that kind of trading completed my life in a sense is that when I grew up, me and my parents, we clashed heads all the time, kicked out of the house, don't come back. My dad and I's relationship and family had always suffered. And what's interesting is that my dad has always been a stock guy. He trades long-term holds and everything. He tried to give me a stock book back when I was a kid. I still have it at home. And then all of a sudden, a year and a half, or probably a year ago, he starts asking me about what I'm doing in futures, and he starts going through ICT videos. I mean, that's all that it brought us together. and it hadn't been like that in 15 years or so. So I still talk to him every day about, I'm sending him charts and we're going back and forth. So it's been a really good just kind of completion of that circle. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, traders can talk to traders for hours. One thing that I've learned by doing it, and having that connection. I mean, for me, both of my sons, who are currently 18 and just about 20, will be 20 in about 10 days, have expressed an interest in trading, and neither one of them has really taken it. And I hope that at some point they do, because number one, I like the opportunity for them, but number two, I think it just gives us that much more to connect with. That's just one of those things that you just, no matter what else is going on, when you have some sort of a common bond that you're both as into, it just opens the doors, which hopefully leads to other more productive conversations as well. So thank you for sharing that. Again, this turned a little more touchy-feely than I'm used to doing, but I think this has been fantastic, and hopefully all of you out there have an opportunity to enjoy and hopefully benefit from this conversation as well. So Connor, thank you so much for spending some time with me today and sharing some of your story. I wish you continued success, not just as a trader, with your family, with your business, with your wife's businesses, with everything that you're continuing to pursue. And I would love to continue to have this conversation as we move forward and see where things are going from here. Okay.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate your time as well.
You got it. All right, Connor, we'll chat soon.
All right. Take care.